Hi, welcome to Metta. I decided to do an oracle card reading for today, the full moon, and I am using magical unicorns for the first card, past life for the middle card, and ascended masters for the third card. The first card is finish what you started for our full moon in Taurus today. So that's a great card for today because the full moon is a culmination in the cycle. It's when the moon is at its brightest, and we're also coming close to the end of the month, which is Samhain, and we're in Scorpio time, so Scorpio is very, very determined, and Taurus is very grounded in the material world, aware of resources, aware of where it is and where it's going. So finish what you started is a great card for considering projects, maybe what you need for those projects, but also the determination to finish them. And it feels like whatever is maybe in the middle right now for people. Oh, lots of communication happening. You maybe feel a little bit weary or like it's not the most fun thing, and this card is great encouragement for continuing, and in fact the word is finish. So there's something about the completion of a project or a job or something you're writing that will really bear fruit. The second card is food and hunger, which I find so interesting, and it's the past life card. So it's talking about a general energy, and food and hunger has to do with basic human needs. We need to eat. We need to maybe be careful about what we eat, and it goes back to whatever element in the first card has to do with resources. So this card is talking about being aware of resources and making sure that you have enough. There's also, well, two things. There's, on one hand, what I was about to say, there's this vibration here that the card is saying when you know your basic needs are satisfied, it can be comforting and worthwhile to stop there, because sometimes the mind can get like a gerbil in it, running on a wheel, thinking about I want, I need, and for the moment, if things are okay enough, really it might be time to count blessings instead of thinking of what you don't have. And if there is something that you really, really need in terms of your body's well-being, you may want to calmly think about ways to achieve that, to achieve those needs. I know we can get really spun out in our minds thinking about the future, and this card that came before does mention something about the future in terms of finishing things, as in the future. So there are ways to think about the future that are productive in terms of what you might need and where you're going. You may need to readjust some of your thinking, and there are ways of thinking about the future where we can get worried and concerned that actually have the effect of making us much less productive and healthy and happy in our present. So food and hunger is talking about really taking stock of what is working well for you, even just basic simple things like I have food in the refrigerator, or if I don't have food in the refrigerator, I know how to get it. There's also an element of breaking bread that's happening in the food and hunger card, sharing food with others and being sociable in a way where we don't necessarily have to be the biggest, most major star. We can very calmly and comfortably share food with other folks. Or something along those lines, something like sharing time with others in order to create community. Okay, great. I'm going to move on to the last card, which I love. I love this progression that happened. This is Open Your Heart to Love from the Ascended Masters Oracle deck, and it's Jesus. So open your heart to love is exactly what it's saying. It's like, be open. Not a lot of times we can think of being open to love as being open to other people, which it is, and it's great. It's also being open to what we can manifest in our own hearts in terms of unconditional love. So we're looking at the Jesus card, and Jesus was, if anything, a giver, a giver of words, a giver of love, a giver of community, and also a giver of food when people were hungry, because some of that message is the material life has to be addressed and taken care of to also really be fulfilling the spiritual life. So, and I know there are many, many different approaches to this, and there are groups who will think about renunciation of possessions and things like the need to eat as being a way to connection with God, and that may be true. That's great. This particular reading right now is saying to take care of both, that your spiritual life can expand and grow, your community with others can expand and grow, and your material life can also expand and grow. They go hand in hand with each other. They interact. They're both lovely. They inform each other and interact together. So in terms of the first card, finishing what you started, there's a message to certainly look towards the material and understand that there can be all sorts of divine interventions and close, meaningful relationships that can arise out of the business world. I just got this feeling like there might be a lot of folks who are thinking about, well, how formal should I be at work? How much should I show of myself? I'm getting this picture of a lot of folks, like in their work days, feeling like they have to stay sort of defensive and not show themselves, and maybe only trust certain people and not others. And so this reading, it's not necessarily saying don't do that. It's saying that maybe some reflection on how you are thinking about yourself and your interactions, and how much you have to protect yourself during the day. And you may find that you can open up a little bit more in your work life, that it's okay to be yourself. And for those folks who are maybe looking for jobs right now, that it is good to show yourself and to show who you are and to be the person you are, and not just be a resume, and to not just be answering questions the way you think questions should be answered. So the reading's also talking a little bit about some play and some experimentation with who you are and how you want to show yourself to the world, and that sometimes it's okay to not be so protective is the meaning there. So I know there was one other thing I wanted to say about this layout. The reverse side of that, of balancing physical needs, job needs, with spiritual and divine needs. Sometimes it can be the opposite, where folks get too much into the material and too much into only wanting possessions and the things of the world. And it is sometimes good to remember who we were as children, because the divine spark is always alive when we are children. And if you can connect with what you were feeling about your own spiritual connection when you were a child, that would be useful at this time. And the other thing, open your heart to love, is there's a real message for folks who are looking for some kind of divine intervention, who maybe there's some sort of problem or issue that's really just hard, or if you feel like you're stuck. A very nice thing to do is to sit down and count your blessings, and to maybe reach out a little bit. The card is really saying be open to the positive, be open to support, be open to even recognizing the light around yourself and the light around others. And it is going to be okay. This open your heart to love card is really saying that it's going to be okay. So thank you. I hope you enjoyed the full moon reading for October. Please subscribe to my channel. And when I get enough subscribers, I think I'm going to do a once a week stream where I take questions from folks. And I'm looking forward to that. So please subscribe and thumbs up. Thank you.